Today, tired of looking at the bad fallout from Microsoft layoffs? How about we look at the good fallout? This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. I'm back, a dinosaur story.
Did you go on vacation to the past?
Sort of. We visited a town full of buildings from the 1600s.
It's kind of the past.
Oh, and we bought days' worth of groceries for a whole family for only €40.
You gotta take me with you.
The slash and burn of Xbox continues unabated, with 1,600 people laid off and more coming. 5 of their partner studios either shuttered, sold off, or in question, and it leaves many of us asking how we can continue to be responsible consumers in the face of such a callous industry. But then other folks are asking, hey, so is any of this going to affect the video games that I like? Well, Bethesda took to Twitter to allay people's fears by using a lot of words to say very little. It mostly is just saying the things you expect to happen will happen, but double-spaced and in a big font to meet the minimum page count. Starfield exists, and there will be more updates for it. Quote, Fallout is one of our biggest priorities today, they say, lying. They talk about how Fallout is a big important deal, but also that Fallout 5 is only barely in pre-production and won't happen until The Elder Scrolls 6 is done. And reminder, that is a game that was announced 8 years ago and shows no further signs of progress. They're going to keep supporting Fallout 76 and Fallout Shelter, and neither of those pieces of information should be considered news. But don't worry, they also say that Fallout 4 exists. Apparently there are also remasters of Fallout 3 in New Vegas in the works, so presumably the Oblivion treatment of an Unreal Engine graphical wrapper on top of the existing games. One of the few pieces of actual news in this meandering essay is that Obsidian is working with them on a new Fallout project. Nice and timely, just how they like it. Can't wait to play it in another 10 years or so. There's also no media of any kind in this statement, so those projects could have all been greenlit as recently as the morning the statement went out. From the first section of this post, a repeated point they hit on is bringing their teams closer together. Quote, bringing our teams closer together is helping us build a stronger foundation for everything we create next, they say. Quote, we're investing in our technology, bringing teams closer together, they repeat in the conclusion. We here at CheckPoint pride ourselves on translating corpo bullshit speak for the layperson, so what they're saying here is a shit ton of our people got laid off, and that fucked us. But if we huddle together for warmth, we can keep making things by overworking the people who are left. But that doesn't read very optimistically, now does it?
A class action lawsuit filed against Nintendo in April has yet to come to trial. And if the makers of Everybody 1-2 Switch get their way, that's how things will remain. 2 plaintiffs from the US seek compensation on behalf of millions of consumers who paid increased prices for consoles and controllers, even though Nintendo received a refund from the federal government after the Supreme Court ruled that, let's call him Home Alone 2's least popular extra, could not legally collect these tariffs. Nintendo has now responded to this class action lawsuit, but not in the dramatic, I'll see you in court kind of way that the plaintiffs and anyone watching might have hoped, but more in the Magic the Gathering kind of response, whereby your opponent notices you tried to do something cool and reacts by tying your shoelaces together. Lawyers working for the creators of Wario Land, The Shake Dimension, clapped back with statements like, quote, plaintiffs are not entitled to a rebate simply because of intervening legal developments related to tariffs, and saying the plaintiffs, quote, received exactly what they bargained and paid for, which, honestly, saying it out loud should be my go-to demoralizing phrase the next time I finish first place in Excitebike 64. Forget in your face. Goodbye. How do you like that? My own triumphantly evil moments will now be punctuated with, you received exactly what you bargained and paid for. As far as the CheckPoint legal team was able to deduce, patronizing though it may come off, these statements are correct. Importers receiving refunds from the federal government have no obligation to pay these windfalls back to their customers. Part of the programmed chaos dealt out by the Epstein class includes accidental corporate theft. Mamma mia!
It's been a few weeks since we reported on Sony doing away with discs as a gaming distribution medium, despite repeatedly demonstrating their woeful incompetence as shepherds of a digital-only archive, and everyone's been very normal about it. There have been petitions, campaigns from indie devs, and of course, comment sections bunged up with angry comments. The recent trailer for Insomniac's new Wolverine game quickly gained over 10,000 comments hyping up physical media and deriding Sony's digital-only plans. Now, disc fighters, I agree with you. But I also bring bad news. Sony does not care. They won't care in the future, but they also don't care now. Sony said they were making this shift in response to consumer trends, and consumers trend not to buy discs. According to Matt Piscatella, director of Circana, the company that tracks video game sales, only 7 PlayStation titles have sold more than 100,000 physical units so far in 2026. That's just not very many in the grand scheme of things. Now, I went through a period of only buying digital for games, music, and movies, but then everything got shitty, and I'm back on buying physical every time now. And it feels like others like me are also swinging back in that direction, but it also feels like it maybe didn't happen fast enough. Perhaps it wouldn't be so bad if games were optimized for storage and I could have more than 3 on my PS5 at once, but it is that bad. Everything is bad. Cool update, Graham. Thanks for the chill vibes.
The Pokemon Company is holding their World Championships this August in San Francisco, California, and has also previewed 4 new exclusive plush designs that you can only buy if you're there in person. So, try not to get too excited now that you know these are going to sell out and end up inflated on eBay. Naturally, the designs include 2 new Pikachus in costume, which is definitely not exciting for me, and I am not looking to add them to my collection. Did I say collection? It's not a collection. Look, I do not have a collection. I only have a few regional variants. Anyway, let's take a closer look. While Pikachu demonstrates his dominion over all lands given by God and governed by man, his lady friend counterpart has decided to escape to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by merchandising: space! You might also enjoy this excellent Dragonite. Look, it's called that in Canada. I can't help you on this. It's like Smarties and Rockets. This excellent Dragonite, wearing a backpack that, according to the press release, only looks like a rocket and shouldn't get it sidelined by the TSA. And this is Kirlia, the emotion Pokemon who has finally had enough of its family and is setting off on its own to live its bliss in the big city. Very San Francisco. Now, if you excuse me, I have to put these back in their carrier and get them home before nap time.
GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen has made a second attempt on the lives of Bloomberg Tech viewers. Despite being told in May that his offer to buy eBay was neither credible nor attractive, Cohen is renewing his attempt to buy the online auction house and currently owns 9.8% of its shares. During an extremely gentle interview last Thursday on Bloomberg, Cohen neither answered nor evaded questions, instead opting to complain about them while displaying theatrically obvious tells like he's a tutorial interrogation in L.A. Noire. Cohen, who is an asymptomatic carrier of imposter syndrome, sneered and sullenly gave terse answers during what should have been a perfunctory interview, snarling things like, quote, "There's nothing more American than risking your own capital." He also said, quote, "I would love for this to be a collective and consensual process. That's my preference. That's number one. But if that doesn't happen, then it's going to be shareholders' decision," which is something that, if said, should get you placed on a list somewhere, maybe several lists. Is the list of lists that Ryan Cohen should be on also a list that Ryan Cohen should be on? Makes you think. When asked where digital-only game launches fit into his business plan, Cohen answered, quote, "Software today makes up less than 12% of the business, so it's totally irrelevant." If you were one of GameStop's procession of Moas cultists and eventual bag hodlers, losing a little under 12% of something is an event called decimation. The interview concludes with Bloomberg host Eric Ludlow generously offering Cohen a chance to, quote, "explain a future business that is a combination GameStop and eBay," which isn't even a question, it's a prompt to deliver a monologue. Cohen ignores that setup and complains that he's not going to discuss his plans on a TV show. He does all of this while looking and emoting like a Tim Robinson character. We need to get this man across the desk from Philomena Kunk. Our nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Surviving a Kunk interview should be a prerequisite before being assigned to any position of power.
Her and Nardwar.
Oh, yeah, he'd dig up all the good dirt.
Coming up, Xbox recently announced new backwards compatibility for old Xbox games on PC, but it's only 4 games so far, and that's maybe because they also recently laid off the guy who previously led the backwards compatibility program.
There's so many Pokemon.
I know, right? Did you bring any back from Amsterdam?
No, but I did. So that town that I mentioned with buildings from the 1600s did have a toy shop, and we passed by it. It was closed, and I looked at they had Pokemon in the window, and I was like, those don't look legit.
Ah. See, and I went to Edmonton a few weeks ago, and there are so many. I don't know if you know of a store called Sanrio Giftgate.
No.
Okay, so Giftgate's kind of a thing that has it had lots of like Hello Kitty and shit, and eventually got the Sanrio thing on them. And those have kind of like disappeared, but a bunch of Korean toy shops have come in to fill the same gap, where it's like, here's a bunch of toys you've never seen before, like plushies and whatnot, and also Pokemon. I'm like, those are knockoffs. And you go up and you're like, that's a real logo, that's real copyright, that's real everything. Oh, but everything's Korean, and that's why they look fake. Oh. It's because all the tags and everything aren't Japanese and they're not English, they're Korean. I'm like, how are they getting them into the country? Whatever. They're still expensive. Don't worry about that.
Despite being told in May that his offer to buy eBay was woo-is. Now, obviously, CheckPoint has been happening for several weeks. I've been away, but... boy, all kinds of stuff, it seems, happening, coming back. Like the PlayStation discs story has been like continuing on, and there's
been lots of chatter from a whole bunch of different people about that too.
Matt Piscatella, the guy from Circana, who posted this thing of being like, people just aren't buying the discs.
Yeah.
In a follow-up post was like, so like, I know it feels cool to make a bunch of comments or like flood a chat room, but you're not actually doing anything. Yeah. And they're not going to listen to you. Yeah. Because you're not buying discs. So, like, sorry. Yeah. You know,
it's frustrating.
And it is frustrating, right? Because it's like, you know, you want to feel like you're doing something. But on the other hand, just like crapping up the comment section of a Wolverine trailer, Sony doesn't care. Yeah. They're like, well, that's nice that you think that, but we have this data that says that you don't actually want to do that. So
yeah, it reminds me of those things where you see like a beloved ice cream shop going out of business in your town, and everyone's like, save the ice cream shop, and they're all like, if you'd been coming every just once a month, if all you who seem so interested had at least been coming like once a month to buy some ice cream from us, well, we wouldn't want to do that. Why not? Your ice cream's too expensive, but save the ice cream shop. And it's like that kind of mentality of save it for the idea of what I want, as opposed to I will actually do the thing. That's the frustrating thing.
The other story, because I wrote that one. The other one that I wrote was the Fallout thing, which I read it and I was like, that's cool, I guess, that you're going to do a new thing with Obsidian, but like people have been asking for that for a while now, and it really did feel like a sort of a, oh, everyone's worried because of all these Microsoft things, but don't worry, everything's fine at Bethesda. But again, that like bringing teams closer together repeated thing was definitely like an acknowledgement that they've lost staff, and they're people, like, you know, sort of trying to gather people together, but it felt really weird. What I wanted to mention though is that I've seen now several TikToks with a very different opinion of Asha Sharma and the job that she's doing than we have.
Oh, sure.
They're like, hell yeah, she's coming in, she's cracking the whip, and she's making games happen. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Right. Up to and including, there's a clip from one of the Charlie's Angels movies. Okay. Where Lucy Liu is disguising herself as like an efficiency expert and coming into like she's wearing like an all leather thing, and she's like, I'm the efficiency expert, and like just sort of striding into an office. And
very much a parody of that kind of attitude.
Yeah, exactly. And it's captioned, you know, like, Asha Sharma walking into Bethesda or something, and it's being presented as like this cool thing that she's doing, and I'm like,
is this astroturfing?
I'm like, that's what I'm like, is this real? Yeah. Are people actually invested enough in video games to know the names of the executives and think that what she's doing is good? I'm baffled. Yeah. It's very, very weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know who, like, other than the way you said that, and I was just like, oh, this reads a lot like someone at Microsoft marketing or whatever was saying, hey, get out in front of this, pay some influencers to make some shit, like start a campaign, like we're worried. And it's like, that would be surprising to me that you give a shit that much about this.
Speaking of the Bloomberg thing, that obviously Cameron wrote that great story about Ryan Cohen making a second attempt on the lives of Bloomberg Tech. But that 10-minute Bloomberg Tech interview that we reported on several weeks ago with Asha Sharma, and I watched that whole 10 minutes, and it's like, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, it's very clear from that interview that she doesn't have good answers for this person. And I'm like, God damn, wow, you really, to the point of being like, why are you in this position? And she's like, I didn't even know. The Satya Nadella was like, you're going to do it. And I was like, really? Me? Okay, then. And I'm like,
okay,
you shouldn't say those things out loud.
Okay, because I was going to say, is it she doesn't have politic answers? She doesn't have, like, she got in there so fast that it's like no one has gone to her and said, these are the answers we need you to have. These are the answers you're supposed to give.
No, I think that she's in over her head, and I've sussed this out by her saying, I'm in over my head.
Oh yeah, okay, good. All right.
That's my read on it. Anyway,
Nice.
Sort of. We visited. Damn it.
I've done that before, several times.
Yeah. Nelson wrote a story about the
Nintendo
tariffs, which isn't, I mean, he said as much in the story. It's like, it sucks to hear, but that's the case.
I know what we all want.
Oh, yeah.
As consumers, everyone's like, we all want to feel like that in some way, that it's like, I overpaid for this. And it's like, yeah, you did. So I want my difference in money. It's like, I understand that, because I want that too. I want us all to, like, I want us to stop paying a lot of money for everything. I want us to not have to have money anymore. Let's have that. That's what a great idea. I mean, that can definitely happen.
Roddenberry's vision of the future, where there's no money and everyone's boning down all the time.
Exactly, right? Everyone wears like jumpsuits.
Notorious utopist horn dog Gene Roddenberry.
The reason they put you in jumpsuits is to make it harder to bone down, right? Because it's hard to get out of the fucking things with the zippers on the back. Yeah.
They never explain that.
No.
They never explain how obviously everyone's in the early seasons of TNG, no one would be able to do up their uniform themselves.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, no, I don't want to talk about the thing I was talking about. I want to talk about this, because it's like, I have to then picture that Jean-Luc Picard walks outside of his thing in the morning, and he's kind of getting his whatever's on as he's going towards the bridge. He passes an ensign, and he's like, get me? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, thank you, ensign's like, you're welcome, sir, like whatever, and moves on with his day. And I'm like, that has to be how that shit goes down, right?
Yeah, Riker gets onto the bridge and is like, Geordi, do me up. Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
That's just how it works. Everybody's just...
Anybody who works the science station near the turbo lift, they have to do up all the bridge personnel as they come on. That's their job. Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Speaking of money, patreon.com/loading ready run. I don't even want to talk about the Nintendo thing.
I mean, you can tell Beej wrote the other story.
Yes.
On account of the props.
These are literally all mine.
Of course they are.
Absolutely. Even that one, which...
It's so heavy.
Yeah, it has...
Why is this one so heavy?
It has batteries that go into it.
To do what?
I don't remember. And I think maybe I'll go discover what it does off...
It's got there's something in here. Does it make a noise? Is it supposed to make a noise? Probably it's dead.
It might vibrate. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Don't say that. Don't say that out loud in public.
We're doing this now.
Oh. On. Oh.
Does it have batteries in the battery pack?
It feels like it's probably not heavy enough that it has batteries.
Maybe
in
I took the batteries out.
You probably took the batteries out, which is smart.
All right. So we'll figure out what it does after the break.
All right. You're going to feel a slight pinch. There we go. Check out the store also.
Yep.
Store.loadingreadyrun.com. Lots of good stuff in there.
Can't buy any of this, but...
Not legally.
No.
From us.
Not from us anyway.
No, but you can buy t-shirts and stuff. Actually, I just got back from Europe, and there were many people at MagicCon Amsterdam in our new shirts. Let me tell you, Jobby the Jublin on the maroon looks real nice.
Nice.
So
super happy about that.
Yeah, really pleased to see that. Thanks everybody for that and for saying hi in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So
and you can also, of course, back us on Twitch when you see us go live on Twitch. But we do a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Back any of our channels, including this one. And why would you want to back LRRVG specifically? Because the names come up at the end of this video.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Why does this one got airplane ears?
Oh, I think maybe that's construction. That's something they oh.
Oh.
Bend them. They
Oh, they're posable.
Yeah, because why wouldn't they be?
Okay. That's the weirdest one. Yeah. Chill, buddy. All right, bye.
What happened to that big one?
Yeah, why is the big one's face like that?
This one is official.
This one's from the 90s.
Yeah, this is made by Banpresto, 1997. This is a original fat Pikachu, like they talk about on the cards. And that used to squeak when you would shake it.
That was an awful sound.
Yeah. Only according... Fuck, I can't believe... Oh, we did all that work! Space!